What's up, nerds? Welcome to DNA Weekly Strike. Brian and Joey here as always. I'm your host, Corey. We're going to talk some Division. More specifically, what's happening in the Dark Zone and the future raid, which is coming.
Well, there's not a lot going on in the Dark Zone. You go in, you kill some guys, you get some loot, and you extract it.
I thought there was supposed to be more to this Dark Zone.
So did I. I thought you'd go in and there'd be almost kind of like missions or even encounters. You know what I mean? Like something like that you would be able to do. It'd be like a set where you would know exactly where to go to like start this thing up. You just kind of wander around. You kind of go to the landmarks, right? I mean, you just kind of walk around, look for a group of guys.
Yeah, I kind of went in just to explore by myself. Nobody shot me or anything, thank God. But, like, I went in by myself, which is not the smartest idea. And was just kind of, like, walking around and looking for landmarks and stuff, which I'm assuming that's where the gear is attached.
Well, I mean, all the gear, like, there's crates scattered throughout, too, that you can find. But you have to be, like, a certain level to open some of them. But, like, when I went in, we just kind of we almost followed the same route in the zone that we were in. And we knew where the guys were spawning. Like, I think in the Dark Zone 1 area, or maybe the second one, it's one or the other. There's like an extraction point right next to a gas station, and the gas station always spawns a bunch of enemies. So like we were just kind of hanging out there for a little bit, and then we'd move around. And in the Dark Zone 2, there was like a parking garage where that's the extraction point, and like there were guys around that area. So
it is sectioned off into zones. Can you get to like Zone 2 from Zone 1?
Yeah, I mean you just walk like. It's kind of like when you're walking in the map, like outside of the Dark Zone, and you're about to enter a new area, and it'll say like what area you're going into. It'll let you know when you're walking to like Dark Zone 2, Area 2, or 3. I don't know how. I think it goes up like 6, maybe. I don't know how many there are. I didn't go that deep into it, but I'm sure like the farther zones back, that's where you're gonna find the best gear. But you also like it goes by levels too, so like that'll go up too.
Right, and like I'm level 14, so I'm still in that bracket from like. What's that last bracket before the 15 to? Isn't there like?
Are you still in 1 to 14?
2 brackets, and then there's brackets within the brackets. Is that how that works? Like 1 to 14 is a bracket, and isn't 15 to 30 another bracket, or does it split it up evenly?
No, there's like a bunch of different brackets. Like I'm in 25 to 29 right now because I'm 26. Before that, I think I don't remember what it was. If it was 19 to 24, I don't remember. But there's like a couple different like brackets for the. I don't know. I can't remember them off the top of my head.
Right. Joey, have you gone in the Dark Zone at all?
No. I mean, I've been playing the game off and on, and I've been keeping an eye on it to see what's going on. My understanding from what people have been talking about on Reddit is just more that there's not really an incentive to go rogue in the Dark Zone at all. Like, you literally, as soon as you do, you pretty much die because everyone else swarms you because they can see when you're a rogue person,
right?
And so it just seems like right now that it's kind of the way it's set up. It's more just like you're supposed to go in there and not necessarily fight each other and just kind of do your own thing. And I don't know if that's necessarily what was intended. So it kind of seems like it's not necessarily working how they wanted it to.
Plus, if you died, you lose experience and the gear.
And credits, because I've gone rogue. I of course
tell us about this rogue.
I
had
to try it out, and I was sitting in an extraction point with some other guys, and I was waiting for the chopper to come in, and right before he drops down his cable, and I sniped the one guy in the head. It was great, but then as soon as he died, like it just felt like, and there weren't even that many guys in the zone, and before I could even pick up his gear, there was like 4 or 5 guys on top of me, like, and I was dead. And I even had 2 guys with me who, like, I don't like. Even though I went rogue, I don't know if they went because we were in the same fire. I don't know if they went rogue. I think it's just
you that goes.
I just went rogue, but then they tried to back me up, but we all just got like obliterated, and we all died. So I tried some different stuff. It just never worked, and I've killed guys that have gone rogue. It's just that they don't really stand a chance.
I think like, because doesn't it like tell you like on the map? You can just look at the map and see who's like rogue on
Yeah,
the
like
map.
a red thing will be on your mini map, so you'll know who's rogue, and then also the game will tell you.
It
Like,
shouldn't do that. If I should see, like, if you run across the person, you could tell, like, by looking at them, like, your character looking straight at them.
I think there
But I
should
don't
be
think
like
you should be able to just tell.
there
as
should
soon
be an
as-
indication that like someone in your dark zone, let's like, 'cause, there's different zones like 1, 2, 3. Someone in dark zone 1 has gone rogue. You know what I mean? Like, it should just be something like that. I don't think they should pinpoint him out like, well, here he is.
Yeah.
If you want to kill him. So, and I mean, going like, if you don't kill someone for so like, once you've gone rogue and you don't kill someone for so long, it'll go away. I don't know the time limit off the top of my head because I never made it. But
well, the way they made it now, it's impossible to make it the whole time limit.
it's just
without
it just
dying.
doesn't seem worth it. I did see a video. I don't know. Someone posted of like a guy killing like 6 guys at an extraction point because they were all just like huddled together, which really is not. That's not how I do it. I will like hide until like I know the chopper's in. It'll drop down its rope, and then I'll still even wait a little bit because you have time.
Yeah.
To go put your gear onto it. So I'll make sure. But I was watching a video. Someone like threw a grenade and killed like all 6 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw that
Yeah,
video too.
yeah. Some I don't know who posted it, but yeah, there's really no reason
Yeah.
to do it. You don't even really know what gear that person is gonna drop.
Yeah. I wonder because like when they first revealed this whole game was supposed to be like the Dark Zone. The whole game was supposed to be like this. And like the world was supposed to have players in it. And like you could die at any time. And then they sectioned it off into this little zone. Which I think I don't know. Would this game have been different if this whole game was based off the rules of the Dark Zone?
It probably would have been worse.
Yeah.
Because the way the game is set up now, there would have been people like sitting at the beginning of the game just killing other people for the fun of it, and it would have turned a lot of people off to it.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, it could have been something like that, but I guess I'm glad they didn't do that. But
I could see maybe making more of the game Dark Zone related, but not necessarily the whole game.
Yeah. I wonder if like future expansions and stuff are going to add other Dark Zones.
Probably.
I think they need to add stuff to the Dark Zone, like in the Dark Zone, like either like, and I think that's hopefully what they're going to do with like this raid or something. Like you need something to go in there and do, like an objective based,
like a side mission or an encounter type thing.
Even just an encounter.
Aren't there like daily missions you get to?
There are, but you have to be level 30. I'm not there yet, so I can't comment on what like how those play out. I think those might be cool.
The daily missions and stuff are just
Go
higher
kill this
level
name guy.
No, they're just higher level missions. I've heard, just like the missions we've already done.
So they're nothing to do.
So
with
they're
the
not
Dark
even in the
Zone?
Dark Zone.
No, not that I'm aware of. Like I was listening to Giant Bomb today, and they were talking about the Dark Zone stuff, and they were just saying like, well, the updates that are coming for the weeklies and the dailies are only for level 30 players to go into old missions. So like,
Yeah, I mean, I need something. I mean, yeah, the best gear is in the Dark Zone.
I mean,
So that's the only incentive to go in there right now.
maybe they'll get a response from the community, and maybe hopefully they're diligent. Like, you know, Bungie's always very open with their community with Destiny.
Really?
So I mean, they put out that weekly update and weekly blogs and stuff.
But I don't
Every
think
week,
they don't
but-
really say much in those. At least my experience every time I looked at those, Bungie's not really. I don't think they're open with their people with their community at all. I mean, they attempt to try to make people happy, but they really never say anything. I feel like in their weekly updates.
Maybe
Oh,
Ubisoft will be different than that then.
That's my opinion. But yeah, I mean, hopefully, I mean, you look at Destiny. You know, when it first released, there wasn't a whole lot to do in that.
Mhm. I mean, right now, I feel like there's a lot to do. It's just very repetitive.
Yeah.
Where like each zone has like their own set of encounters and side missions and like collectibles. Like it's a very Ubisoft thing to do. Like you look at a game
Yeah.
like Assassin's
Assassin's
Creed,
Creed,
like
or-
that's what I was thinking. It's kind of like Assassin's Creed.
yeah, where like you can just clear out this section of the map and then there's nothing else to do in that section of the map, so you move on to the next section.
Oh,
which
look,
is-
there's all these collectibles you have to run around and
Which is
collect now,
what
too.
I'm doing now. I'm not quite high enough level to do the next story mission.
Mhm.
So I've been going around clearing out sections of the map and to level up, which is fine, but like that kind of feels like they're forcing you to do the side stuff, which I I guess is okay. But like, what about the people who just want to play through the story missions? They're not going to be high enough level to do the next one.
Well, there's not a lot of story missions.
No,
Yeah, I
there's
think
only
you're
about-
supposed to have to do the side
You're-
missions.
you-
That's the
you
point.
have to
You can
do the
pick and
side
choose which side
Mhm.
missions you want to do, so you don't like get maybe your tech wing leveled up or
Mhm.
only your medic wing or something. But you gonna have to do some side missions.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to do the side missions. The encounters are more of like what Joey's saying, where like
Mhm.
you can kind of pick and choose. I mean, you should do them all
Mm-hmm.
just to like
Yeah.
get that stuff for your base of operations. But like that's what I did. I would just go area to area, clear it out, because you get a pretty good experience bonus when you beat all the side missions and you go back to the safe house and
Mhm.
then
Talk
like
to someone.
talk to the officer that you get like the report from. You get a pretty good chunk of experience for doing that. Plus, if you unlock the canine unit in
Mhm.
your base of
Mhm.
operations, once you beat all the encounters and side missions in an area, it'll show you where every single collectible is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I already did that, and that's
So I recommend doing that if you're one who wants to get all the collectibles. It's a lot easier because it just shows you where everything is
Yeah.
once you get that. Because I already have that,
which is a
and,
lot easier because like once I unlocked the canine unit, that was one of the first things I unlocked. It like all these little blue stuff
Yeah, it just went
popped
crazy.
up, especially when you look at like the situation boards and stuff.
Yeah.
Like then that's when everything.
Yep.
So, anything else you want to touch on that before we move on to the future updates in this incursion, which is what the raids are called apparently?
No, I think that's all I need to say.
Okay, so the first major update, which is coming to Xbox first, which is a little disappointing.
A little shitty
Because
yeah.
we all got it on PS4. But it's going to be the first incursion,
Mm-hmm.
and it's rumored to be on Riker Island.
Mm-hmm.
What do you expect from this raid?
Not a lot, to be honest with you. I feel like it's just going to be a longer mission because, like, what can you add? Like with the way the game is played in this like cover-based shooting, no jumping, nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to add. Like, what can they add? It's just gonna be a lot of the same thing. Like, okay, go to this area and you gotta like defend something,
Mhm.
or you gotta activate this and then go over here. You gotta kill this guy. Like,
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's going to be a more tactical, drawn-out mission. Because
yeah, I mean,
these
it's
missions,
just gonna be an upgraded mission.
because the missions are kind of structured like mini raids anyway, because they have objectives to them. You know, because
They're not like raids. They're like strikes.
You think they're more like strikes?
They're more like strikes.
yeah, they're
they're
definitely more like strikes.
they're definitely not raids. They're like from what because we've all played Destiny and we all know like what a raid
Yeah.
is in that sense, and I think that's what we're comparing this to, and maybe we shouldn't. Maybe that's our fault because that's what we're thinking of when we say, and that's why they didn't use the word raid
Mm-hmm.
and they used what incursion.
Yeah.
Because they don't want you to think of raid because that's what you're going to assume is the Destiny ones, and there was a lot to those. There were puzzles to it and stuff.
Mhm.
What kind of puzzles can you put into this?
I mean, you
Other
could
than
have
to go activate this button, then you got to run back over here and act or turn this valve.
plus,
while this person turns this
especially
valve.
if like you can only have a fire team of 4, which we haven't seen anything bigger than that in this game. Like, how are you gonna design a raid around 4 people? Because in Destiny it's 6.
Right.
So what can you do differently with 4?
Well,
You're gonna have to split off into 2 teams of 2,
which
or
is
like
possible.
some people are gonna have to split off into like go off by themselves and defend an area while somebody, turns a wheel while someone is defending them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Honestly, I'm kind of worried about the end game of this game because
Me too.
right now there is no end game at this
Yeah.
point.
Because in Destiny, you had that kind of boring period where you had to grind and do the missions and get to 20, and then that's when you could get gear to get up to 30 or
Mhm.
whatever. But like the end game, like Destiny didn't start until after you beat the story and all that
Right.
stuff. I mean, we're playing the game right now for the Division. Like, what's
Mhm.
after when we beat all the story missions?
I mean, the Dark Zone's kind of it,
The Dark Zone,
and then like whatever these weekly and daily updates that are coming.
right? But I mean, like Destiny had those strikes. They had different strikes that you could do, different difficulties on the strikes. You had the PvP element
Yeah,
that this game does not have
it's desperately lacking. I'm
at
finding
all. I mean,
even the Dark Zone.
I was
is turning
concerned
out.
about that last week,
Mhm.
and that was before I really went into the Dark Zone. I was like, well, we'll see how that plays out. No, there is no PvP element. That's not. How is 1 versus 6 fair? Because
Yeah.
that's based. I mean, unless you have a team that all goes rogue, but still, like everyone knows where you are.
Yeah,
So that doesn't really work. So there's no PvP element. There's no. I mean, they're bringing that incursion, but Destiny had the raid,
Mhm.
those strikes, PvP,
yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah, and I really think a PvP element would actually add a lot to this game, especially because like for someone who plays a lot of Gears of War, I love the way that Gears of War multiplayer is set up. I think that a game like this could benefit from something like Warzone, Capture the Flag, King of the Hill type PvP stuff.
I agree. It doesn't have to be huge maps. You could do like 3v3 stuff like that. It'd be awesome. 4v4 max.
Yeah, even if you have to section off these levels into, you go to the safe house, you check on a laptop and say, I want to play PvP, like multiplayer. It automatically does the matchmaking. The levels can be sectioned off into like an office building. You can play multiplayer inside an office building. It can have 2 or 3 floors, which adds a dynamic to multiplayer that something like Gears of War does not do. It can add a lot to section off these things into like a parking garage or office building or, something like that.
I agree. I think it desperately needs that because the dark zone is not. I don't think it's all that.
Yeah, but
I'm not level 30 yet. I need to hit 30 before I can really like. I'm 26. I should be there very soon.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll see. But I don't know what they're going to bring to the table. It's really going to blow my mind at this point.
Yeah. What about you, Joey? What do you think this game is lacking?
A lot.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I mean, it's just too repetitive for me right now. Like, it's just, like, I'm used to grinding things out, but it's just, every mission just feels the same. So that's just the point where I'm at, where it's just like, I'm not even above level 10 yet, because it's just like, it still feels like everything I do is just going to be just more of the same. So, I mean, it isn't, like, I like the class system, I like the weapon customization, and I like the feel of the game, but it's just the actual, I guess, like mission mechanics, I guess, or I don't know what I want to call it. It's just
what there is to do out in the world. It's just
there.
Not doing it for you.
It's just not there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like every side mission and encounter I've done it 15 times already, and I've probably played for about 15 hours. So like that tells you, But I mean, Destiny was the same way, and look how much we played Destiny.
Yeah,
and that vanilla Destiny, there was not a lot to do.
No, and it was very much like this, where it was very repetitive.
But it also had an end game, which
this is what this could be.
There wasn't a whole lot to Destiny's endgame. I mean,
they had the raid.
Yeah.
There was the one raid, and even to get there was.
But then again, it also had PvP.
It was a pain to get there.
Yeah.
It was a pain to get to the raid.
That's what the PvP is one thing that they probably really should have had.
Yeah.
At least some type, not just the Dark Zone, but.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's tough in this, especially the way you can customize all your weapons like that, to keep it balanced enough to where everyone isn't going to just pick the same weapon, same attachments, to just make sure they're winning.
Yeah. I don't know. Anything else you want to touch on this week before we move on?
No, I mean, I feel like we just sat here and like bashed it, and like I am really enjoying the game. Like I feel like, but that's just the things that I'm finding to be issues with it, and I'm hoping that these updates that they're bringing are going to bring a little bit more to the game, and maybe that's why they didn't put them out right away, because they want everyone to like get to 30 first, and then they'll have that. So I still have high hopes, because the game's a blast.
Yeah.
My problem with these such early DLCs is that you just bought a $60 game, and then now they're releasing this $10 first expansion, like right off the bat.
I think it's 15.
Right out the gate, like it's kind
of bullshit.
They had this pretty much done when they released the game. So
this first update is the first 2 updates are free, and the first paid DLC is coming to PlayStation in May.
Okay, so with the one with the incursion or whatever,
that's free.
That's free.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's good.
I'm okay with that then, because that could be like they were fine tuning it. And they didn't necessarily have it ready at the right time, and they wanted to release the game.
Plus, if you remember, the first raid in Destiny was a free update, 3 or 4 weeks after the game came out?
Are you talking about the Crota one?
No, Vault of Glass was free. The first raid was a free update, I thought.
The first raid was included with the
first
game.
raid was included.
But it wasn't available until that update.
They probably kept it locked.
I think
they
didn't
want people to just be able to get in there right away. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of companies do that with their raids.
Yeah.
I mean, I know WoW does it. I know Final Fantasy did for one of the raids. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Destiny did it.
Yeah.
They don't want everyone to just jump in their game, completely skip over all of their story, just so they can make sure to get to the end game rate first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. So I still have high hopes for you.
Yeah, I do too. I didn't mean to sit here and like bash this game the whole time because it is fun. The mechanics are fun. I guess I'm just looking for more to do with these mechanics.
Yeah.
So, but thank you so much for joining us this week on DNA Weekly Strike. Remember, you can find all of our content on digitalnerdadvocates.com and right here on our YouTube page. Like, subscribe, and share. Let us know how we're doing. Remember, you can also watch us live on Twitch, record a few episodes and our podcast on twitch.tv/digitalnerdadvocates. Please follow us. And until next time, we're out.